How to play the video game that I've created called Tillydale Heights. This is the main screen when the game is opened up, and there's three options here on the main screen. You can either start playing right away, look at the different controls of the game, or check out the credits. So first we can check out how to play the game. And as you can see here, it shows you that, you're able to control your hero with either the left key to move left, the right key to move right, the up arrow key to jump, the down arrow key to duck, the space bar to throw a dodgeball. And it's a bit more complicated once you get into the game, because depending on how long you press the space bar for is how fast the throw is, and the enter key is to pause the game. So pressing that button takes you back to the main screen, and looking at the credits here, you're able to see where I took the sounds from. So the item collect sound and the ball bounce sound are all under a Creative Commons license, and you can check those sounds out in the website here, and all the other sounds that they have used are all public domain. So now, starting with a game, when you first play it, it prompts you to name your character. So if I just put the actual name of the character, which is Josh, we can start with that. But if you don't add in your name, it just automatically uses Josh as the character. And this is helpful later on when the high score comes up. You're able to keep track of who had the highest score in the game within this machine specifically. So once a game actually starts, you can see that there is an objective dialogue here. It tells you that you need to find 3 pieces of candy and give it to Jack. You'll see Jack at the very end of the stage, and once you have finished the objectives, you're able to progress to the next level. On the top here, you can see game information, such as the amount of tries that the hero has before the game is over. So right now there's 3. So once it gets to 1, the user's on its last lifeline before the game is over. The second one is the candy count. So you'll see here there's some sparkling candies there that the user can pick up. And later on, actually, if you pick up at least 15 of them, you can redeem that candy for another lifeline. The third part here is the score. So depending on what the hero's doing, it can accumulate the score. So for example, having the objectives here, picking up a candy will give the hero 100 points. If the hero throws a dodgeball at an enemy, that's 50 points. But if that was an objective, to throw a dodgeball at the enemy, then it's 100 points plus the 50 points. And here we have a time option, or not an option, but the time here is tracked, and that'll be helpful later on in the high scores portion, which I'll talk about a bit later. This one here shows you the current level that we're on. So we'll see that we're in level 1. This is the throw strength of the hero. You'll see later on, once I start throwing the dodgeball. And then here you can see the objectives, so which shows that I need 3 pieces of candy to progress to the next level. So this objective dialogue here, the user can move the character around, but this can be exited by clicking on this Xing out that button. So as you can see, the user can go right or left using the keys that I mentioned. Using the arrow key gets it to jump, and then it, by getting the hero to collide with the item, it captures that that candy, and it records that on the display here. With regards to throwing the dodgeball, you click on the space bar, and you'll notice that as I'm pressing the space bar, the gauge changes, and if you get to the green one, that's the maximum it'll throw. But if you do it for too long, then the hero loses its strength. So as you're progressing here, you can see there at the bottom there's the sandbox. So if you get below there, you lose a life, since Tillydale Heights is really takes into account cleanliness. So the hero gets in trouble if he goes into the sandbox. So need to avoid that part. We see this purple item here. That's a hall pass. So once the user took that, the hall pass word kind of goes up from above the user's head. So that the icon then shows up here in the display, and then the user is able to click that button when they feel like they need to use it to help out with the adventure. And I'll actually show you this in a second. When the hero jumps onto this flag, it's actually a checkpoint. So if at any point the user dies, say for instance right now the user dies here, the user or the hero respawns back to the checkpoint part of it. So now we see here the teacher here is kind of moving back and forth. And actually, if I go through that, so if I get too close, you notice that the teacher actually caught me. So the hero needs to stay away from that teacher, unless they have the hall pass, and you'll see that later. It looks like it's game over for us now, so we'll actually restart. We'll talk about the high score portion of it later on, but it's just good to note that even though the user did not finish the game and all its levels, it still shows what your total score was without any bonuses, and it shows you the high score, and you're able to play again here. Click on the play button, and we can just start off here. So going back to the game and trying to use the hall pass again with the teacher. So we see her there, and if we click on the hall pass, you see that even though she can see us, we're not getting into trouble because we have that hall pass. So once that finishes, if I go back again, see now it says that the teacher caught you since you didn't have a hall pass. So just gonna wait here until she goes back there, and it's the hall pass is only good for about 10 seconds, and once that 10 seconds is up, then the hall pass expires. So we see Jack here at the very end, and he's letting the level's complete, and it says this little wise comment here about not beating up Josh, but as the game progresses, hero kind of realizes that he shouldn't be peer pressured into doing anything, and in fact helps out his other classmates. So here, this is the second level. I kind of exited the dialogue, but basically we need to, in the objectives screen here, you can see that we need to throw a dodgeball at the different enemies. So how we could do that is, if you throw the dodgeball, depending on, how hard the throw is, you can actually, your dodgeballs actually disappear once you hit, once it collides with, like a wall or a block. But you'll notice that the enemies' dodgeballs go through, and if they hit you, so if we jump here, he hits you, you hear that, that dodgeball hit, and it lets you know, you got hit, so it kind of tells you that you're losing marks in gym class. But once you click this button here, it'll respawn you back to the original position. But some techniques here, you could duck, use that duck button, it's really helpful. As you're jumping, you can press on the keyboard just to get him. So we got one of Jack's friends there. So it's usually good to make a combination of jumping and throwing, since if you're just throwing without jumping, it kind of just hits one of these blocks here and doesn't get the bully. So we got a checkpoint here. So we free throw that. What I forgot to mention is that every time you get a score, it pops up as kind of like a floating screen on top of the hero, just to inform him, inform the user of how many points they've accumulated. So here I've actually died here, and I respawned from the flag. Also, you'll notice earlier that I accumulated kind of like an invisibility power-up. So what that does is that it actually enables the user to not get hit by dodgeball. So I mean, you'll hear the hit sound, but it'll be a different sound in that it seems like it's going through the user. So as you'll notice earlier, every time the user gets hit, it loses a lifeline. But if we click on that, you'll see that the user kind of looks see-through. And then I guess we'll wait until one of these guys hits us. Oh no. Okay. Well, just getting these users here, we'll actually come to that again later. But what happens is, they throw a dodgeball at you, and you won't lose a lifeline because of that. Another thing to point out is that you'll notice that we only have one life left, but once you complete a level, you actually automatically gain a life, just because it's actually, the game gets kind of hard with all the dodgeballs getting thrown and getting through platforms, so it's just a bit of a boost to get the user to keep the user interested in playing. So it increases automatically with each level. So it says here you have to find the flag and bring it back to the teacher. So even if you go to the teacher here, she won't prompt anything because you still have this one flag left to get. So if we throw a dodgeball here and then go through the level pretty quickly. And then one more thing to note that I mentioned earlier is that once you reach 15, once you've collected 15 pieces of candy, you get another life. So as you noticed, the candy count resets to 0, but you've collected one more lifeline. So progressing through this, we see another one of those little icons that help the user become invisible, so see-through. So once we click on this button here, we'll wait until this guy throws, if he does. Okay, doesn't seem to be throwing. Okay, so we lost that again. It's odd that they're not really throwing, but it's actually within the code that it's, his throws are randomized, so I can't really guess when he'll throw.